Hi everyone, this is Nisa Doon. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about the reasons of why I left Hampton University. First, this is a different setup because I am back at home for the summer. And yeah, so this is my room. Okay, so let's get into it. I started my first year at Hampton the summer of 2017, and I transferred last spring semester, so that is spring 2018. And my major at the time was chemistry. So I guess the first reason why I left Hampton University was because I lost my scholarship. So, well, no, before I even go there, I'm gonna go back. Okay, so first of all, Hampton University is expensive, okay? Hampton is like $40,000 for a year, just 1 year. So that's 20 at least a semester. That's about the max, really, but it's usually around 35 to 40 depending on what kind of major you are. I had to pay 40,000. I don't know about other people. I've heard of some people saying they paid 36. I paid 40,000. I don't know why, but I did. Anyway, so I came into Hampton the summer of my freshman year. So that was right after graduation. I graduated high school. A week later, I left and went to Hampton for this pre-college program, which was amazing. I took 3 classes. I took oral communications, which everyone has to take to graduate. I took a biology class as well as I took pre-calculus. I did well in all of those. I got an A and a B, and I got all A's and B's, 1 B in my biology class. I ended up getting scholarships for that, and then I got a scholarship for that. I had a housing scholarship because I went to ASD, which is Admitted Student Stay, back in February. And then I got another scholarship because I got accepted into this nanoscience program when I got to Hampton. So I ended up only having to pay $20,000 for the year because I had all those scholarships. So that was good. You know, that was good compared to what the original price was. Discounted price was pretty good. I suggest if you're going to Hampton to really go to pre-college. You meet new friends there. You know, you already have your clique, your crew, you know everybody. A lot of people that are freshmen do go to the pre-college program so they can know people by the time NSO week starts, which is New Student Orientation Week. Fast forward, I get into fall semester. I was doing well, but let me tell you why I was doing well. Hampton has a curfew. So curfew is 11 o'clock on the weekdays. So that's Sunday through Wednesday, and then Friday through Saturday is 1 o'clock. So Anissa, I didn't learn to be a schedule-oriented person until I got to my new school. But before then, I was a very go with the flow, wherever the wind takes me type of girl, but I still got my work done. And the only reason why I was able to do that was because of the curfew. So the curfew cut off time 11 o'clock. So at 11 o'clock, you have to be in your dorm. You don't have to necessarily be in your room, but you have to be in your dorm. So I was in my room at 11 o'clock doing my work, studying. So that's pretty early, 11 o'clock for a college student, 11 o'clock. So, you know, I'm doing my work, I'm studying, I'm going to sleep. It's a routine day, you know what I'm saying? So then when the curfew was taken off around so curfew is supposed to be taken off around October for real, or before or the week of homecoming, but my class was so bad we got it 2 weeks after. But anyway, so right after curfew was taken off, I'm not a scheduled person, or I didn't go by a schedule. I was all over the place, you know what I'm saying? I'll get out of class, you know, and I'll call my cousin, because my cousin and I went to the same school, and we were really, really close. Shout out my nigga. We were basically brother and sister, really, because we were so close. But I would call him, you know, where you at, what are you doing? And he'll tell me, you know, he just got a class to go to the caf. So I'll go to the caf with him for about a good 30 minutes. He'll leave, 30, 45 minutes, he'll leave. You know, I should have been leaving with him, but no, I would go down, because the caf was two levels. So we would eat upstairs in the quiet area, you know what I'm saying? And they had better food upstairs anyway, but we would eat upstairs, and then I would take my little happy self downstairs to go talk to anybody that I knew downstairs. So I'm chatting it up over there for about a good 30 minutes, and then I go back upstairs, and then I'm chatting with my friends, because all my friends from the DMV ate upstairs. So like I would go back upstairs and had a conversation with them for about a good 30-some minutes. So by the time I leave the cab, I've been in there for about an hour and a half just talking. That's an hour and a half day gone. I could have been doing hour and a half, 2 hours. I could have been studying. But the social butterfly I would just be all over the place, right? So I would leave the caf, maybe, oh, Anissa, you want to go meet up with me in the Harbs, because the Harbors is like an apartment complex right off campus. Like, it's like Hampton, Harbs. They're literally like across the street. But like, my friends be like, oh, Anissa, come meet us up at the Harbs. We're about to be at so-and-so's house, just chilling. Me, I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, cool, go there for a little bit, maybe go over to the student center after there. Oh, you guys want to go here, you want to go there. I was stretching myself too thin, what I'm saying, trying to be everywhere at the same time, trying to, do everything, be known by everybody, that I ended up just basically like not just doing bad in my first semester there. So my first semester, it wasn't bad. It wasn't worse than my second semester, but it wasn't good. So I got maybe like, I forgot how many classes I took, but I had all A's and B's, and I got like a C in like my major class. So it was like my major class. So imagine coming home and, my dad, he was just like, bro, what are you doing? What's up? And I'm sitting here like, Dad, it was hard. It wasn't even hard. I was just goofing off, so I had my little motivational speech or whatever, talking about I'm going to do better when I come back, after winter break, come back to Hampton. I'm on, I'm doing well for the first maybe 2-3 weeks, but I'm not a schedule oriented person. I don't have good time management skills still. So, after maybe 3 weeks, I tossed that idea out the window, and my friends, yo, Anissa, you trying to go here, you trying to go there, you trying to, me, trying to be in the, do everything, be around everybody. So I'm over here, back in the same routine, stretching myself too thin. Yeah, just being all over the place for real. Like, I ended up, there was one time I had lab. So I had a chem lab at like 6 p.m. to 10 o'clock at night, right? And my friend was like, hey, we're gonna take our other friend to go get his car, because he lived in Virginia Beach. And he wanted to go get his car, I think pick up his car because it was getting serviced or something like that. I don't know. So I went with them to pick up the car in Virginia Beach, and then they wanted to go to the mall, and then they wanted to do something else. And like, I was sitting there like, yo, I got class at 6, but if I had class at 6, why was I going to go with them at 4? Like, even though it would have been enough time for them to go there and come back, it's still just like, don't have to always be a part of everything. So I ended up getting into lab probably about like 8 o'clock that day, maybe around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Got there 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I was just like to my professor, like, yo, I had to drive my friend and we got into traffic and I'm sorry, and and I finessed it, but like still, like, that's just an example. That's just one of the examples of like how I was just all over the place. I wasn't, focusing on my priority, which was school. So finishing up that semester, that was my spring semester. So finishing up my spring semester, I ended up with, Lord have mercy, I ended up with like 3 D's, like 2 B's and an A, maybe, or like 2 A's and a B, those two, but I got like 3 D's, 2 B's and an A, for real. That was that. So I lost my scholarship. That means going into next year, I had to pay $40,000. But with Hampton, once you lose your scholarship, you cannot get it back. That's the whole gag about Hampton. Once you lose it, you cannot get it back. And that is why it's just like, yo, like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there is possible ways to get it back if you apply for like new ones and stuff like that, but it's just why? What's the purpose? Like, just give me my scholarship back. I got my GPA back. Anyway, so that's one of the reasons why I was just not focused. I ended up losing my scholarship, and I was goofing around too much. The second reason why I ended up leaving Hampton was because of my mental health. So going into my second semester of Hampton, I started going through depression, and it didn't really I wasn't in full swing until maybe like the middle of my second semester at Hampton. So probably around, what month is that? Like February, going through the rest of the school year. I just mentally, I was going through, and it wasn't like the type of depression you would think it was, where I'd be in bed, door closed, windows closed, dark room, covers over my head, not eating. No, that wasn't what I was going through. Like, your girl was eating good, I was out and about, but like in my head, I was going through a lot. So, and not a lot of people know this. I haven't really told anybody. Oh, Jesus, that scared me. Sorry, y'all, that was my speaker. But a lot of people actually didn't know that. Just probably like my cousin and like 3 other my bigs. It was interesting because I was like at a point in my life where I knew my schoolwork wasn't going good. I knew my mental health was going south, and just like I just felt like useless. But like I didn't want my social life to be down too, so I would just like make myself feel better with going out, make myself better with just being around people that I like to be around, so it can kind of mask what I was really going through. I was going through like insecurities, thinking I wasn't good enough, thinking I wasn't smart enough, wasn't pretty enough, I was too dark, I got braces, I look like a child, like, I was, just all over the place, what I'm saying? Just like, and this was like every day, like going through stuff like this, just thinking about it just constantly. And like, so that really took a toll on me. And I was thinking at the time that it was because I was at Hampton. Now I just know that it was the devil just like trying to get into my mind and just break me down from the inside out. Now I know that, but like at the time I was just thinking like, oh, it was Hampton University. Like Hampton is just this terrible place and now, and it wasn't until now, like maybe like this semester, because last semester, I'm speaking of like where I'm at right now. It wasn't until the start of this semester that I realized that I can't associate Hampton University with my depression. But at the time last semester I did, the summer I did, so that went into my decision of leaving Hampton University. So that was something that threw me off. That was something that made me want to leave. And I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like, bro, like, we didn't know you were depressed. And I'm like, yeah, not a lot of people did. Like, I just handled it like a smile on my face. Can't tell the people what you're going through. But it's just like, no, you were really messed up in the head. But it's okay now because, everything's good now. But at the time, that was the reason why I decided, another factor of me leaving Hampton University. The third reason and the last reason I decided to leave Hampton University was because of the administration. So I thought that the administration did not care about the students in any way, shape, or form. They did not care about us socially. They didn't care about us in health purposes. They didn't care about us financially. And they just didn't care about us in our security. So first I would say socially, because if you ever been interested in going to Hampton, or if you've ever been at Hampton, you know of 12 to 2s. For the people that don't know, 12 to 2 is a party that's in the student center from the time 12/noon to 2 p.m. So basically it's a 2-hour 2-hour party. It's really like a pop-out event. So basically like a fashion show / pop-out. You dress in your nicest clothes. Like, you really there to take pictures and just to really just be in that environment, you know. You got the Greek over there dancing and strolling. You got the freshmen probably upstairs at the top or on the stairs because they couldn't get a floor area because they were too late, quote unquote me. Then you got all your upperclassmen on the floor and at the tables, really just, but like when I tell you, I'm gonna try to find a picture and to like put it up here, but like when I tell you it was lit, like at the entire floor areas were covered with people. Like the stairs were covered with people. The upstairs, all three floors of them were covered with people. The first 12-2 we had, there was a fight that broke out. So Harvey, which is our president, decided to cut him off. Him and the provost, I believe, this Provost Inman, her name was Inman. They decided to cancel all the 12-2s that we had for the rest of the school year. And if you don't know how Hampton is, you will understand that you need 12-2s, you need Holland parties, and you need the harbors for Hampton to be lit, okay? So they literally made the harbors into Rikers. So like they put all these bars and like police out there, so you can't even get into you couldn't even really get into the apartment complex unless you live there. And those were where all the like kickbacks were held. That's where like, yeah, all the kickbacks and pre-games for all the parties were held. Holland was like the Saturday party. They had them basically every Saturday, and it was in like our gym. For people that go to A&T, it's kind of like a gym jam. But they were like every Saturday, and really you just got lit and you just went there. That's really about it. And 12-2s, like I just said, was in the student center from 12-2, and it was every Friday, but you only go to, you know, certain Fridays, of course, because you know people got class and stuff. But like still, they were really the only things that had made Hampton like super lit. So when you get rid of those things, what do you have? Nothing. You have nothing. so yeah, so they got rid of all of that, and like that just really made the experience like what. And everyone knew like this year was just whack. Like that year was whack because we had nothing going on for us. We were doing work and we had to like just do stuff amongst your friends for real, because there was really nothing big going on. I didn't care about our social lives because it was just like everything that made Hampton just a lit school in terms of parties, in terms of social events, was cut off, like just canceled. So we're all just like, we're by the waterfront doing nothing. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say was health wise. So second semester we had a town hall event. I was a part of this organization, which is SGA Senate, where the Senate writes bills towards the president, and then the president can either pass the bills or veto the bills, and we are just working for the students. We're working as voices for the students to get stuff done that needs to be done. So we decided to have a town hall meeting, and that went pretty south. I mean, it was good, but it was just like everything that unraveled during that meeting, it was just like, God dang, like what's really going on at this school? So I say health because mold, what else? Mold, the cafeteria food, just stuff like that. It was just ridiculous. So this girl at the town hall meeting, she was in one of the dorms that was told had mold in it, and what they did with the mold was they painted over the mold and said it was fixed. So this girl got bronchitis. She went to the doctor, and the doctor said, the reason why you got bronchitis, sweetheart, was because of mold. So you know what she did? She went to the town hall meeting. So you know what Shorty did? She went to the town hall meeting. She told the president, like, listen, I've been told I got bronchitis because of the mold that y'all said y'all fixed. What's up? Like, so who's about to pay for these bills? One. two, like, what are y'all finna do about this? I was the one that got sick, but like, what are y'all finna do about it? And they literally told her in her face that she was lying. They said that because the entire building didn't have mold, it was impossible that she had mold. So because the whole entire building doesn't have mold, that means one room can't have mold? Huh? That don't even make sense. And she had the receipts for it. So we were all just like, bro, what? Like, we were sitting there like, what? Like how is this possible? So during that time, I was just like, why do I want to come to a school that doesn't care about my health? And like, we were paying all this money for our food, and we're paying all this money for renovations, and where's the money going to? I know since Hampton is a private school, they're not getting their money from the government. That is true. They're not getting their money from the government, so they're not getting their money from the state. It's not state funded. It's none of that. So they have to get their money from like alumni, us, you know, different grants, fundraisers, foundations. That's where they have to get their money from. But it's just like, you have money to make a new statue of yourself, President Harvey, that you just did this year. You have enough money to change all the street names to you and your wife's name. So where is the rest of the money going? I'm confused. So like, for stuff like food, as little as food, like there was ants in bread, you know, in our bread. There was roaches in the food. There was just different stuff, all this stuff going on with and it's just like, and they were still in denial about everything. You don't want to look in our shoes and see what we're going through, because we want to be here, you know, we're paying to be here. But it's like, y'all are not helping us out here. You're treating us like dirt while y'all live in luxury, because the food they got and the places they were staying was 10 times better than what we were getting. It was ridiculous. It was literally ridiculous. And my third reason, which is my very most important reason, and really went into my reasonings of why not to return to Hampton, I just felt like the safety for the school was just not there. We had there's blue light systems that every college should have. Blue light systems, in meaning they're probably about like a 10-foot tower like thing, kind of small, like this wide, 10 foot, and they have a blue light in the top of it. And you should be able, which is a rule, you should be able, wherever you're standing, you should be able to see at least one blue light. And from one blue light, you should be able to see another one. From each blue light you are by, you should be at least be able to see one more, you know, in the distance. So, and the reason for that is, if you're being followed, you could press it and someone should be on the other line, ring, 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 in the next second or two. And they can come within the next 60 seconds. But if you're being chased, the reason why you have to have those, you could see each one from a certain distance away, is because if you're being chased, you're running, you can't stop and let them talk. You can't talk because someone's chasing you. You run, you go to the next one, run, go to the next one, run. There's a map of where each one is, so they can see your pattern of where you're going and try to kind of figure out where you're going to go next, so they can be there when you're there. The police can be there when you're there. That's the purpose of blue light. So when our blue light systems at Hampton weren't working, or there wasn't enough for the school. And let me explain briefly what the campus looks like. So they probably had one blue light system by the freshman dorms, which was by the waterfront. They probably had one other blue light system in the middle of in the middle kind of area of the street. So like in between the student center and in between the cemetery area. And then they had another one all the way towards Holland and Olin Hall, which was the engineering building, the gym, in Africa, which was like the very, very, very far point of the school. And that was like where extra parking was. And then they had another one probably by the harbors, like walking towards the harbors, and another one by the cafeteria, and probably another one no, there wasn't one there. And yeah, that's really about it. They probably had like 5 or 6 on campus. Right, and none of them were in proximity at one blue light. You could not see the next one. So you see where there was an issue, right? So in this meeting, in this town hall meeting, they were talking about the blue light systems, and it was mentioned that the blue light systems were cut off because the people were saying why aren't they working? Why aren't the blue light system working? We're touching them and we're not hearing somebody on the other line. We're touching them and nobody's coming in within the 60 seconds. What's going on? Why is it not working? And the reasonings it wasn't working was because Hampton had cut off the blue light systems because nobody was using them, and that it was a waste because no one was using them. And I'm just thinking, and I'm just like, so you cut them off, which this is supposed to be something used for emergencies only. You cut an emergencies only device off because it wasn't being used every day. Did you expect that someone was going to tap that thing every day just to call the police? Hi, I was just calling because I wanted to talk. No, that's only being used if you're being followed, if you're being chased, if somebody is like coming after you, you feel unsafe. But if you don't know if they're being used either because you done cut them off. Like, how do you know someone's using them? They're off. No one's there. No one's on the other line. No one, so you don't know. So like that really stuck with me because I was like, why am I paying money for a university that doesn't even care enough to put on something that's supposed to protect me as a woman? Like this really stuck with me because I'm a woman. I can't have weapons on campus. You know what I'm saying? Say I'm walking out by myself, not saying I should be walking, you know, sometimes we have to be smart as women and not put ourselves in situations, okay, but that still doesn't give the okay for them to cut off those blue lights. I'm sorry, it gives them zero okay. So I know a lot of people say Hampton is a safer campus because we have a gate and they don't just allow anybody in the gate, which is true, but they don't, they allow Ubers in the gate. They allow DoorDash in the gate. They allow all those other people in the gate freely. And if I was just somebody because I've done it before with somebody that wasn't a DoorDash, that wasn't a student of Hampton University, and they just let them go through. But like, if you're a student, they'll check to see if you're on the student list, and if you don't have a decal, that's when they don't let you in. So why? And that was the biggest thing. Why are you letting people? Why do we have this gate for protection, quote unquote? When you're not allowing the people, you're not allowing the students in, but you're allowing people that aren't even students to come into the student and to come at night into that closed campus where only places they really would be going was the housing, but you will allow people that aren't students before you allow students in just because they don't have decals? Is that really what you're doing? But anyway, going deeper into it, another reason why, and that safety reason, rape was also a big thing at Hampton. They felt like just the way they went about it. There was this one girl, she put her story out about how she was attacked and sexually abused by a guy in the school, and Hampton took it completely wrong. The guy hasn't even been arrested. He hasn't even been under complete office custody. Haven't been taken up for questioning. Nothing. Like literally nothing. And I believe she dropped the name. I believe just all this stuff. And like people were saying, what is the process for rape at Hampton? Because I'm confused with why this person hasn't been taken in yet. What was basically said in the town hall meeting was that they take your case, they put it up against, they put it up in a court area, kind of like Hampton, with all the administrators and stuff, like, and other people, officers, all this other, and they see if it should be taken up to the next level. So what you're saying is, if my case doesn't have enough evidence, doesn't have enough, evidence, doesn't have a lot of timeline, date. If something's missing, what you're telling me is I can't go all the way up. I can't go all the way up to get my case looked at because it doesn't have what you want on it, or it's been too late since it happened. It's been a year since it happened, so now I'm telling you guys. So now it's like, what's the point because it's been so late? No, that's not how it works. If a woman has been raped, or if a woman has been sexually abused, physically abused, like any of that, if she comes forward and tells names and you should have the audacity to at least give her a case and let her go fight it off with you know, the officers, or however it, you know, it would work through that process. Just how that was just taken up. I was just like, I think it's crazy how you guys are basically saying that we have to see if it's good enough to go to court. We have to see if it's good enough to continue on in this process. We have to, and it was just like, at a time, females, like after the town hall, the famous town hall meeting that I'm talking about, females were literally like name dropping multiple guys at Hampton, and just like groups of guys, multiple guys saying this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and Hampton did nothing about it. And like that really stuck with me, because it was just like, who are y'all to say that this didn't happen? Who are y'all to just brush stuff under the rug? When are you finally, and my thing with Hampton was, when are you guys finally going to take full responsibility of the things that have been going on at Hampton University, and when are you going to change it?
I think our biggest question as students is, when is the truth going to be told?
Yikes.
I heard Dr. Harvey tell that student that none of the students that got shot were victims. Dr. Emmett came to see me in the hospital, sat there and didn't say anything.
Wow! When are you going to change it? Because it's not going to change on itself. Like the way that it works at Hampton, the administration has the higher say. So whatever they say goes. If they don't want it to like go forward, it doesn't go. If it gets vetoed, it gets vetoed. If it gets approved, it gets approved. You know what I'm saying? It's really no type of checks and balances here at Hampton. It's just whatever they say. So how is this supposed to be changed if you don't want change for yourself? And that's how I feel about Hampton. If the administration does not want change with rape and sexual abuse and just all this stuff that's been, you know, all these cases that's been coming up, and all y'all want to do is throw it under the rug to save face, is crazy. It's literally crazy. I take the rape thing just so seriously, just because of the fact of, for somebody that has actually been in a situation where I could have been sexually abused, and I was on the verge of being sexually abused at Hampton, it just befuddled. I'm just so befuddled and just taken aback, because it's just like, what if it did happen? You know, what if I wasn't as lucky as I was and got out of the situation as when I did? You know, would I have been able to get the justice that I was supposed to get? You know, were they gonna just brush my case under the rug too? And that really like sat with me, because it was just like, again, how can I give my money and my support to a school that does not care about me as a woman, you know, me, my mental health, me and my physical health, socially? And that's why I decided to leave Hampton. I'm not sending this video out, you know, to just be like, oh man, don't go to Hampton. Hampton's a bad school. Da, 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 da. No, like, Hampton was a good school. My cousin loved it, you know, and when she was at Hampton, it was a great school. You know, that's where I decided, you know, I started looking into Hampton when she graduated. And I'm not saying I don't love the people that go to Hampton, because I still have friends, lots of friends that still go to Hampton. It's just, it wasn't for me. Don't take this video and think negatively of Hampton, but to take this video, think about it, and then make your decision if you're thinking about going to Hampton. And if you're not thinking about going to Hampton, and if you're just looking on this to just look about why I left Hampton, well, I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? That's cool too. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about the reasons of why I left the big HU, Hampton Pride, you know. But please subscribe, like, and comment. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.